But what are your thoughts on US tech regulation and also the regulation of Bitcoin crypto, which is happening in China, and noises from Gensler? That's one of the questions.
Yeah, I'll start with the tech regulation. We need to see what the regulation actually is, because sometimes counterintuitively, it doesn't work like you think. So with the banks, when they got heavily regulated after 2008, the potential competitors couldn't afford to compete with them. So the bigger the banks were, the more they could spread the overhead of dealing with the regulation, and it ended up increasing the monopoly power. And the same thing could happen here. If they overregulate and they don't do it properly, no matter how much Ms. Khan wants to hurt these people, she might actually help them by making the cost of competing with them so difficult that it actually enhances their monopoly status. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'd say it's very possible, and that's a work in progress that needs to be analyzed. Crypto, I'm a 68-year-old dinosaur, so I'm not sure I should be saying too much about it. I bought some last year in the early stage of the pandemic when Congress started acting crazy, and it was down at 6,500. And I heard from another money manager that, in point of fact, that when it went from 17,000 to 3,000, 85% of the people still owned it, and realized that these like religious zealots that own this stuff and they never sell it. So it's a funny story. I was going to buy 100 million of it, even though I didn't really believe in it, because I thought the risk reward was quite good. It took me a week and a half to buy 20 million of it. I sold it all at 35,000, and like a month later it was 65,000, and I was just like beside myself because I left hundreds of millions of dollars on the table. But I don't know, this ransomware thing has really shaken me, and I don't feel, it's not like there's some great societal benefit from Bitcoin. And you've now got, if it was a country, it's the 31st largest energy consumer, the miners of this stuff. Mm-hmm. And now you've got it being used for ransomware by criminals. I will be very surprised if the government doesn't crack down on this with regulation, simply because the central banks don't want it because it's a threat to their monopoly power with money. And this is the perfect excuse to act. I will say this, even though for that reason, I don't own any crypto right now, which I could not have said to you 2 months ago. I do think that the blockchain, so crypto technology, the best and the brightest are coming out of Stanford and MIT, and there's thousands of these kids working on the problem. And I don't think it'll be as big as the internet, but I think it will be big, and there'll be a new payment system and a new world derived around this. Probably the companies you want to invest in, you'll catch them at Rockefeller, because there'll be stuff that hasn't even been founded yet by some of these 26-year-olds. But I'm not sure I believe in this stuff as a currency, but I do believe in the platform of the blockchain. Great. That's a long-winded answer from somebody.
No, that's a good question. It's so dangerous. Yeah, I think among the